Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog. Before we get to the subject for today, just a short item to share. It's not going to be good news if you're a Trump supporter, which I am, full disclosure. But I've mentioned many times in the past that one of my go-to polls is the Rasmussen poll. They actually were the most accurate poll in 2016. Just a couple of weeks ago, Trump had been over 50% approval rating. He had been up to 53%. Now he's down to 45%. I'm sure it's because of what he did in the debate. Even though I didn't watch it, I saw some clips. I read enough about it that his attitude, his personality, that's the problem, his personality. I really don't know why he can't just be, quote unquote, more presidential. But it's too late to change now. Maybe he'll pull it out, but he's got a lot of work to do because in this Rasmussen poll, the one that's the poll for the actual election, he is now, and this is interesting too because a couple of weeks ago, he was within 1 point of Joe Biden. Then in the last poll about a week ago, these come out now every Wednesday. So last Wednesday, Biden had pulled ahead by 8 points. Today he is ahead by 12 points. With a 12-point gap, I don't see how he makes that up in the Electoral College. Maybe he's got something up his sleeves. Maybe the millions of door knocks that they do every week, that's what they say they do, maybe that will enable him to pull out a victory in the Electoral College. But to be honest, it doesn't look good. I would also mention actually one more thing. The 13 keys to the White House that I mentioned from time to time. The 13 keys were developed by a historian, Alan Lichtman. What he looks at is not polls or the candidates, just the party. What he looks at is 13 factors, what he calls key. He turned them into statements, positive statements. The way the 13 keys work is that if 5 or fewer of these true-false statements are false, then the incumbent party wins another term. If more than 5 are false, then the challenging party will win. Right now there are at least 6 against Trump. Well, a typical key would be is the current party, the incumbent party in the White House, and that's true because Trump is. But another one is, has there been social unrest? Obviously, and that's going to be my subject today, social unrest. We've had a lot of that. That is a false. And then the economy really tanked because of coronavirus, so on and so forth. You can look up the 13 keys, just 13 keys to the White House, just Google it. But there are at least 6 that are against Trump. So he's never been wrong. That's the main thing. His track record since he started using this methodology with Reagan back in 1984, he has never been wrong. He has correctly predicted every election. And, well, actually, he's predicted every popular vote winner, put it that way. He was wrong about 2016 and 2000. So that's why I say he could still be wrong if Trump pulls it out in the Electoral College. He would be right as far as his methodology, Trump winning the popular vote. But as I said, a 12-point gap, that is a pretty big gap to close. So now I want to talk about what's going to happen if Trump loses, and we already see a lot of it. Well, we're going to have tax increases. A lot of it depends on what happens in the Senate. If the Democrats win the Senate, then it's all over. If the GOP keeps the Senate, then they have a chance to stop some of this stuff. If Biden governs as badly as I expect, then we could very well expect what we saw in the 3rd year of Clinton and the 3rd year of Obama, which is that the Republicans take over the Senate and the House to stop the more extreme measures by the Democrats. But if they eliminate the filibuster, they can do a lot of damage in 2 years. And speaking of damage, I'm talking now about the riots, the social unrest we've been seeing. We're seeing more and more, and now it's expanding beyond where we were seeing it. We were seeing it in business districts, smashing and looting of store windows. Then we saw people, Black Lives Matter thugs, marching through residential areas. But now, for the first time, well, here's the headline: BLM, that's Black Lives Matter, mobs smash windows in residential homes during Wisconsin protests. Black Lives Matter mobs protesting in Wisconsin over the decision not to charge a black cop for fatally shooting a gun-firing teen turned their rage on innocent homeowners lobbing rocks through windows on a residential street. Troubling video, that's an understatement if you're one of the people living in one of these houses whose windows were broken by these mobs outside your door. Troubling videos showed up to a dozen people running up to homes in Wauwatosa, the sound of breaking glass and celebratory horn blasts as they repeatedly hurl heavy objects through windows. And now here's the video. You can watch some video. First, the mob, the Black Lives Matter mob, rampaging through the business district of Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Just watch. That was the rampaging in the business district. You've seen scenes like this numerous times in a number of, well, again, Democrat-run cities. But now this next video, this is new. Watch. There it is, you just saw it, a new level of violence. And I think this is only the beginning now that the ice, or should I say windows, have been broken. We've seen a number of these videos of mobs just demonstrating, walking through residential areas, making noise, waking people up, banging pots and pans, screaming into bullhorns. But this is a whole new level, breaking windows. This is a new level of violence, again, in Democrat-run cities, which is why I am so puzzled to see Trump apparently doing so badly. Do these people in these blue cities not see what's happening all around them? And remember, at least in New York, but I'm sure it's in other states, I'm talking about New York State, you have a pocket, you have a city that is heavily populated with liberals, and that outweighs more conservative voters throughout the state. So it really is up to these liberal Democratic voters. They have the option of voting against this kind of stuff, but apparently they're voting for more of it. And I worry about it because I'm glad I don't live in New York anymore. If you're just tuning in for the first time, I lived in New York for 40 years. I moved to Tennessee, just outside of Memphis. This was a year and a half ago, but I am living, people are nicer down here. I haven't seen anything like I'm reading about and seeing in video of these other cities, but Memphis is a Democrat-run city. I live right outside Memphis, but I think my town is run by Democrats too. So I worry about it. I worry about what I'm seeing in these northern Democrat-run cities spreading to the south where I live. it's no consolation that, yes, I now have a gun and I carry a gun in case I'm attacked. But what do you do if somebody breaks a window? You can't shoot somebody for breaking a window. You just got to stand there and watch your windows get broken. The police aren't doing very much, and that's the other thing, defunding the police. I just don't understand my liberal friends, our liberal friends, their reasoning. I also don't understand. I've read that there is speculation that Democrats fleeing these badly run Democratic cities to move to, say, where I am, or to move to Florida, to move to, well, it happened in Colorado. A lot of Democrats moved to Colorado and they changed the state from red to purple, and now maybe it's going to be blue because they don't learn anything. They cause this damage in their home state. They can't live with it anymore. They move to another state, such as New Hampshire. Democrats moving from Massachusetts to New Hampshire and turning New Hampshire at least purple. Same thing. They leave and they vote the same way. They don't learn anything. I would like to think that it's conservatives like me fleeing. That would be great. I hope that's what it is, because I'm definitely not going to vote Democratic. Probably not for the rest of my life. But these Democrats, if they're the majority, then they're going to infect the whole country. It really worries me. And finally, last nail in this particular coffin that I want to pound in is the unconcern with facts. Now, getting to the incident that triggered this violence in Wisconsin, this breaking windows in residential areas, it was a black cop. So I don't know how you accuse a black cop of racism for shooting a black kid with a gun. So let me just give you what the district attorney said, because this is what it's all about, that they are not prosecuting this officer. Milwaukee County District Attorney John Chisholm, in a 14-page letter laying out his rationale, said evidence showed that Cole, the 17-year-old black kid shot by the black police officer, fled from police carrying a stolen 9mm handgun. He, meaning John Chisholm, the district attorney, cited squad car audio evidence along with testimony from Mensah and two fellow officers. Mensah is the black police officer, that he said showed Cole had fired a shot while fleeing and refused commands to drop the gun. The black officer was not charged after it was ruled he, quote, had an actual subjective belief that deadly force was necessary, and that belief was objectively reasonable, unquote. The police officer, I mean, what would you do in that situation if somebody is shooting at you? It's just ridiculous, and it is, again, my contention that these Black Lives Matter thugs and their supporters, they don't care about facts. They just love the sound of breaking glass. They just want to riot, and every time a black person is shot, even by a black officer, if you're a black kid in Chicago shot by another black kid, that's okay. You can have dozens of those over a weekend. But if a black person is shot by a police officer, even a black police officer whom is being shot at, that's a cause to go out and riot. And that's it for today, except to plug my music channel that I created. Just one song there right now, more to come. I'm linking to it in the description. If you could visit and even better share it, that would be great. And other than that, thumbs up if you like this video. Share it with anybody you think would also like the video. Got any comments? You can put the comments in a comment section below the video. Questions, suggestions for future topics. You could subscribe. I love getting subscribers. But I would have to say, most of all, I appreciate your spending time with me. I hope you all come back again. I look forward to seeing all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.